Welcome back to another movie review. Today we're going to be doing The Gallows, which is produced by Blumhouse Productions, which seems to be the only people who are creating horror movies. They've been doing, uh, I think they did Paranormal, they did Sinister, they've done Insidious. They've basically been the people doing horror movies, which, in my opinion, they need to, whoa, take a step back and do something different or wait a little bit and come up with something good. But jumping into The Gallows, the movie is about a school that does a play called The Gallows. And while doing the play, an accident happens, and the main character, who in the play is supposed to be hung, actually gets hung and dies. So 20 years after that event, the school the drama class has convinced the school board or the state to allow them to do the production of The Gallows again, which is obviously the worst decision they've ever made, at least for the movie. Um, Basically, the main plot from there goes to a kid. You have to take this drama class. It's a prerequisite to graduating. At least that's how they explain it. You have to do something, whether it's helping with the set or doing like costume stuff or doing whatever or acting in it. You have to do something. And one of the main character, at least, who it centers around, chooses to act, and he has now gotten the main part, and he sucks. He's the worst actor ever, at least for this play. And his friend, who is in charge of recording it and is recording like the making of it, basically convinces him that he is bad and that he cannot do it, and they need to sneak into the school in order to destroy the set and destroy everything, so that the next day when people get to school, there's no way that they can do the production that night. Unfortunately for the friend who's convincing the acting friend to not do it anymore, he likes the actress, the girl that he is acting alongside of, who is like the main drama nerd in this movie, which makes him have some reservations. But ultimately, he decides, yeah, let's sneak into the school and get in because I'm horrible at this and I need my way out. So as they go in, they're going in to destroy the set, and they hear a noise. They go in, they look, and who should be there is the drama girl, and they have to try and make up a story to say whatever and why they're there. And she finds out, unfortunately, and then shit starts to hit the fan. The guy's name who gets hung is Charlie, and after they say his name like you would Bloody Mary or Candyman in a mirror, he starts to fuck shit up. And let's just talk about how shitty found footage movies are now. I'm not here to say that the Paranormal Activity movie, the first one, or even what is it, Blair Witch Project, were the best horror movies ever. But that was when it was new. There was some novelty to that, to the found footage. But now we've had so many movies that are found footage. We've had Cloverfield. We've had every paranormal movie, which has been 5 so far, and there's going to be another one. We've had the Blair Witch Project. There's so many of these movies that are found footage that it just needs to stop. They need to go away, at least for a long time, because I'm sick of it. And if I'm sick of it, someone else is sick of it, and it's not scary anymore. It's really not. And the scares in this movie are all jump scares. You're sitting there and something's about to happen because the sound has now gone quiet. You hear breathing. You hear them saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm so scared." And then something jumps out and it's just super loud. So of course, in the theater, or at least for me, I jump, "Oh my gosh, that was really loud." But there is no point in the movie where I'm like, "Oh shit, this is really creepy." Like, I'm scared. When I went home, if you go home from a horror movie laughing about the horror movie, it sucked. Unless you are laughing about it to try to rid your thoughts of how scary the movie was, which happens a lot. So there's two types of that humor after a movie, or at least after a horror movie. And this movie was ridiculous, and it had no point in being ever created, unfortunately. I mean, I'm not going to go as far to say that I hated the movie, but it really wasn't that good. I think for a horror movie, it was probably a 4 or 5 out of 10. I think Sinister or even Insidious, that film franchise, is better than The Gallows. Like I said, there's nothing special about this. You know what's going to happen. You know they've laid it out for you, and even in every horror movie, or at least in every Blumhouse Productions horror movie, there's a twist at the end. And at the twist at the end of this movie, it's obvious. You know what it's going to be 75% through the movie. You're like, oh, I got a few guesses on how this is going to be. And almost without fail, you're going to be right. But as for the acting, I think it's fine. I think whoever wrote the script did a good job on writing it for actual high schoolers, which is actually kind of sad because when you listen to how people talk, it's kind of ridiculous. And I've watched shows where it seems like 80-year-olds are writing the dialogue for the teenagers, and it sounds nothing like how people who are between the ages of 14 to 20 or 25 talk. And obviously there's some differences in there, but growing up, you kind of know how people talk, how like high schoolers or middle schoolers or even young adults talk. And they kind of nailed it, which is sad because you really realize how ridiculous you sound sometimes. Like I said earlier, it's just jump scares. All the scares are jump scares. There's no creepiness to it. There's no like actually being frightened. You can understand why they're scared, but you're not scared watching the movie. You're just trying to figure out at the time what's going on and why it's happening. You're not actually scared of what's happening, which sucks. For a sequel, unfortunately, it's possible. What Blumhouse Production does is they make these cheap horror movies, meaning cheap production-wise. They spend very little money on them. And then they make, like if you spend $1.5 million on the production budget, and then you have, for that, you'll have a decent marketing. So let's say you have 50 million or even 30 to 50 million. So at tops, you have a $51.5 million movie, and you make $80 million. You've now made the 30, and you're free to make another movie. You've profited $30 or $30 million. So it's totally possible that they will do so with The Gallows, which is really unfortunate because there doesn't need to be a sequel. They're making a sequel out of Sinister. Sinister, the first one ended, and you're like, okay, I get it. I get why it's happening. But for some reason, they want to give you the exact same movie. And I think that's... obviously, I can't say Sinister 2 is going to be the same as Sinister 1, but judging from the trailers, it's going to be the same. That's just how it feels. And if they make a Gallows 2, I have no idea what they're going to do with it or why they're even going to do it. I don't think anyone's asking for a Gallows 2. Maybe like they were asking for an Insidious 2 and 3 or a Sinister 2 or even Paranormals. But I don't know. It's like I said, money-wise, and in Hollywood, if there's money in it, they're going to make it. So if you guys like the video, if you agree with what I'm saying, please do hit the like button. If you think other people would enjoy the Gallows review, please share it. If you guys have any comments on how you guys thought The Gallows was good or how it was bad or how you thought it could have been scarier or creepier or anything like that, please do let me know in the comment section below. But until the next one, take care, guys.